All right, so now that we've talked about what voice is exactly and some different ways that you can add it into your explorer's piece, we're going to look at some examples. So, what you're essentially doing this week for your assignment is looking back at your paragraphology document, and you are going to find areas where you can add in your own voice or thinking. And some of the following phrases could be good sentence starters that you use to add in your own thinking. So, starting a sentence with I know, I think, or I wonder. When you add those phrases into your sections, please change the font color to red just so they stand out to me and they stand out to you, that you were able to go in and add your own thinking within those sections. So, the headings that you're really going to take a close look at to add in your voice would be the sections Oh Baby, Claim to Fame, Pay the Way, Path to Success, Rest in Peace, and Impact. We're going to talk about here a little bit later in the video. You might need to add a little bit to it, or you might already have that whole section as your own thinking. We'll take a look at my example here in a minute. Okay, so you can see in this in my draft for the Oh Baby section, what's in black text there is what I originally had before I went back and did any revising. What's in red is what I've added in since going back and rereading, and you can see that I started with an I think statement. I think that Christopher's father is the real reason that he became an explorer. Columbus's goal was to find a shorter route to Asia by sea. And then I tied in what we learned a little bit in social studies, that many tradesmen and merchants wanted to trade with Asia because their goods were rare and worth more money. Columbus wanted to find a quicker, more efficient way to earn money as a merchant. It was a total accident that he ended up discovering a new, strange land. Okay, what's in red there? It's my thinking, my words. It doesn't really come anywhere from the research that I did. It comes more from background knowledge that I had before I started writing this paper. Okay, let's take a look at my claim to fame section. Again, what's in black text is what I had originally in my draft. What is in red is what I added as adding in my voice. I added in mine all at the end. You don't necessarily have to add yours at the end. If you want to add it in throughout the paragraph, you can do that also. But you can see again, I started with an I know statement. I know that Columbus did not always treat natives fairly. After reading the picture book Encounter, I learned that Columbus actually took many of the natives back to Spain as slaves. He also took the land that belonged to the natives and claimed it in honor of Spain. To me, that doesn't seem like a very fair thing to do. Okay, so that's my voice, my own thinking. Okay, and you can see again my example for Pay the Way. What's in black was my draft. What's in red is what I added to. This time I used an I wonder statement and asked some questions. I wonder what made the Queen of Spain eventually grant Columbus the money that he needed to make his trip. I wonder what the Queen thought when Columbus discovered a new land. And then I put in my thinking. I think that the Queen was probably excited because new land and resources would bring more money to Spain and make them wealthy. So there is my voice and my own thinking. Okay. Looking at your timeline section of your paper, this notice wasn't listed as one of the boxes for you to add in your own voice, and you don't have to. The timeline can stay as long as you have your 7 bullet points and events in order for your explorer's life. So I don't expect to see any red in your timeline section, along with your introduction and your conclusion. We've already talked about the things that need to be included in those two. Okay, here's my impact section. And after reading it, I really didn't add anything to it. I didn't need to. The impact section, if you have a good bit of information there, the chance is that this is already your own voice and your own thinking and inferences that you made, and it didn't come directly from a text.